Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live. I am one of your gracious hosts, Eric Allard, Senior Vice President of Tilson Homes, part of the fourth generation of the Tilson family, joined for the first time in 2022 by the illustrious, the not to be reckoned with, the best, the brightest, Vice President of Marketing and all things customer experience at Tilson Homes, Mrs. Dawn Dantzler. Welcome, Dawn.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. I wanted to kick off 2022 with a very special new intro. I don't know if you think, but I do refuse to do the same one over and over. Like to mix it up a little bit. But so how are you? How are things?
I'm good. Ready to get back at it. I mean, it was the longest we've gone without a live. I missed everybody.
It was. We missed you guys. Please jump into the chat. Tell us howdy. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're building. Maybe tell us where in the process you are. If you're just kind of getting into the idea of building a home on your land. If you're under construction. If you're in the stakeout phase, the design phase, the color selection phase. If you've been closed for 20 years, want to hear from you. One of these days, we're going to do a contest of who's been in their Tilson home the longest that watches. I'd like to see
We should for the 90th anniversary.
Yeah, we get. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Are we
Happy
celebrating
birthday.
anything in 2022? Tell me about Tilson Homes in 2022.
So it is our 90th year in business.
Woo! 90. We've got to do sound effects sometime. Maybe we should step up our game and do sound effects at some point.
Probably, yeah. Maybe
Okay.
maybe we can get some sound effects for our birthday. Yeah.
Oh, we could do sound effects. Yes. So 90 wonderful, God-given years we've been building homes on people's land all over the state of Texas. Started in 1932. Didn't think we'd make it to 2022. Mostly in 2020 and 2021, though. But here we are, nonetheless. But do please jump in. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you are. Tell us where you're building, where you're thinking about building. We are here, as we are each and every week, to talk to you guys about building homes on your land in predominantly rural Texas. That's what Tilson does. It's what we've done for the better part of a century. So if you are thinking about building a custom home on your land, really anywhere, but certainly in Texas, you are at the right place. You're getting the best information you could possibly get, which is really what the show is all about. Isn't that right, Dawn?
Absolutely. We've got a few people checking in with us. We've got Myron coming in from YouTube. He's in College Station.
All right. God's country. Howdy, indeed.
Yeah. And then we've got James. Great news about our 90th. Yeah, we're pretty excited. We've got Kristen. Happy New Year, 90th anniversary. Happy New Year, everybody. We made it.
Happy New Year.
We survived. Julie wants to know where our confetti is.
She's right.
Next week, confetti.
Got sound effects, got confetti. Man, thank you.
Chris is wishing us a happy 90th. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
We've got Monica hoping to build in Stockdale.
Okay.
Got Joanne. Hi from League City.
All right,
Good to see you, Joanne. We got Amy watching from Bell County, building the Angelina C, just waiting on final construction meeting and foundation. Awesome.
All right. Hang in there with us, Amy. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenneth, hi. Happy New Year. We're building a Whitney in Maypearl.
Maypearl, Texas.
Awesome. And we got Ashley. Howdy. Watching from Bryan College Station. Bought land in 2021. Getting ready to build. You are in the right place. Let's go.
Come to the right spot. Yeah. Bring on your questions.
We got Rebecca. Tingley's from Kyle. Building in Driftwood.
I spent Christmas in Driftwood. Pretty little place.
Nice. And we've got Hugh from Austin. Hi, Hugh.
What's up, Hugh? Welcome back. Good to see you again.
We got Kathy building in WACO County at the framing stage. Can't wait until the end of the month when we come into town from Colorado. Awesome.
Oh, nice. Hope you have been safe from the fires. Hate that for those folks out there. That's awful.
Yeah. We got Caitlin thinking about building in Bosque County.
Awesome. The good news about Lavaca County, nothing against what's happened in Colorado. All of the trees in Lavaca County pretty much are like 5 feet or lower. So shouldn't be an issue. You'll be able to see it coming from a long way off. You'll be fine. You move into the vet spot. There are some beautiful oak trees down in Lavaca, but you know when you see them because they tower over everything else.
They stand out. We got Angelica watching from Little, Texas.
Nice. Lovely hill country.
Got Tracy building in Henley. Foundation pour scheduled for the 12th. Fingers crossed.
All right.
Everybody, good weather vibes.
Good weather vibes. Next Wednesday. It's going down.
Awesome. Wesley is saying Happy New Year. Currently driving on I-30 headed toward Texarkana. Building in Greenville. Currently having the sittings and roof work, and they are moving right along. Awesome.
Beautiful, Wes. Thanks for sharing that, man.
And Myron sharing he's building a San Jacinto in the Fredericksburg area. That's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Awesome.
Love it
awesome.
There. It's another place where the trees are very short.
They are. They are.
We got Jenna watching from San Antonio, building the Polidoro D in Atascosa. Awesome.
Yeah, we heard the Polidoro has become quite popular.
It has. Yeah, it is moving right up in our most popular plans. We sold a lot of them in a very little time last year. And just have you guys seen, we just launched the interior renderings of the Polidoro. You can see the standard layout of the E now on our website. You can see
that's the kind of stuff we're talking about, folks. We already have the best website, undisputed, verified by the National Association of Home Builders. And here Dawn goes making it even better. It's even better. So,
well, like I told you, if you leave the website the same, it's a time capsule, not a website. You gotta keep changing it. Gotta keep changing it.
We have a lot of copycats out there too, copying our website, don't we?
We do, yeah.
I love it.
Not as bad as the guy like way back in the day that literally copied our entire website. Like I got a Google alert that someone had just literally, it was our whole website. It's pretty interesting.
It's an honor. It really is.
Yeah. All right, we got Melissa building a Cedar Creek in Bastrop. Land is leveled and waiting for our restaking appointment with John. Hopefully we'll get the foundation laid out soon. Awesome.
John McIntyre is one of a kind, Melissa. You're lucky to have him. He's going to be doing an awesome job for you guys. That's great.
It'll be great. All righty, we got Diane in Grayson County, hopefully getting tile this week.
Okay.
We got Jennifer in Kaufman County.
We got a lot of folks watching. This is fantastic.
We do. We got a lot. Carlene watching from Pleasanton, Texas. Should be pouring foundation this month on a Rio in Pleasanton, Texas. Awesome.
Beautiful. What a great place to be.
We got Joanne. We're looking into options to build a homestead that includes a full in-law house attached or on the same property. Awesome. That's great. We can definitely help you with that. We've got what we call it our little casita, but it's a whole separate house that you can build.
Well, we got it both ways, right? I mean, you got the casita, which is a great alternative, and we have, and there are more options for it now. We rolled out some 2-bedroom versions of the casita, which I guess would be a casita
full kitchen versions,
casita mas grande. It's a little bit bigger casita. And then, but we also have plans like the La Salle, the San Jacinto that do offer actual in-law suites within. That is going to be a very personal choice, Joanne. How close do you want the in-law? Now we're on the heels of Christmas, and so we got to spend time with one another in one another's homes, close, and so
we probably got a feel for how that vibe goes.
Maybe that's what we want. Maybe we want them in the same 4 walls. Maybe we want them to have their own privacy. Maybe.
Just is a door enough, or do we need some like fresh air in between us?
I'm a my own privacy kind of guy.
Yeah, same.
And by me, I mean them.
You're just being respectful of their privacy.
100%. It's all about them, not about me. Not at all.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. Kristen's saying that Nolan got our land cleared and construction drive put in the week of Christmas. We appreciate it so much. That's awesome. Building the Canyon D and Garden Ridge. Yeah,
so everybody, we had pretty amazing weather by Texas standards in the week between Christmas and New Year's. So what was really neat about that was it was like 82 pretty much that entire week, actually all the way through New Year's Day. And we actually could get quite a bit done. If you were getting land cleared or you getting drives put in, I was doing a little land clearing, which is why we got another. I will tell you, I won. I mean, the tree, it did launch a counter strike against me, but in the end, it went down. It is in the burn pile.
That's good.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm super stoked about Nolan. That's something that we've gotten better about in the Hill Country. We kind of launched that program a couple of years back, these professional property services where we're doing the construction drive, we're doing the culvert, we're doing the clearing. Pat Mayo out in the Hill Country and his team out there, along with Justin Ordino, those guys, and Nolan, been instrumental in getting the contractors onboarded so that we can handle that stuff in the Hill Country area for folks. It was a tougher one to wrap around because there's a lot more variables out there in the Hill Country.
Yeah.
You can go from dirt to rock in a 100-foot span, and so.
And is your land like this, or is your land like this?
That's right. And so those are things that Nolan really helped get wrapped around. And to Kristen's point, if you guys need help with that, that stuff's tougher, and particularly right now when contractors are in short supply, getting them to show up, getting them to give you bids, lean on us to help get that stuff done, because we do have some pull with these guys, because we can guarantee them more than one job.
Right.
There's not enough of them by any stretch, but we can help with that. Just give us the reins and let us kind of take that bull by the horns a little bit and see if we can help you out. So great that's working out for you, Kristen. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, Julia is saying she's waiting to meet our Whitney builder to get that foundation going in Montague County.
All right. I'll tell you, Julie, they can build more than just a Whitney, but for you, they specialize in Whitneys, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. We got Creatia watching from Brian, building a Polidoro, another Polidoro. Awesome.
I think we might have the better half of Theo there.
Theo, yeah. Are you related to Theo? You got to let us know.
Let us know, because you sound like you have a lot in common.
Yes.
What you're building and where you're building it. Let us know.
All right. Amy is asking, how are the WACO models coming along? Looking forward to seeing them.
I will answer that, Amy. So what we have done, because we have so many homes under construction right now, a lot of great customers and not enough contractors and not enough supply chain stuff, we actually have pause is the wrong word. That's really the right word. We've kind of paused them at slab stage for right now deliberately. And we are focusing 100% of our efforts right now on customers' homes. Homes that we have under construction, paying customers that they have entrusted us with their homes, and we want to get those done for them. So we have paused just at the slab stage. So they're there. We are going to move forward, but we are focusing 100% of our efforts on houses that are in the field, because we know a lot of you guys have been waiting a really, really, really long time. And the same thing goes through for our Polidoro model is true about our Polidoro model in San Marcos. We did actually get our permit.
We did. Oh, yay.
We got a permit.
Does it have an expiration date?
Everything has an expiration date, but everything also has extensions, just like taxes. So why worry about April 15th when you can shoot for October? So same thing. We will not be starting on our Polidoro model just yet, even though we've got our permits and our space there. We are focusing 100% of our bandwidth on customers' homes. So hopefully people understand that. I know there's some people out there that appreciate it. Some folks have been waiting a really, really, really long time.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on those models just as soon as we feel a little more comfortable with where we are from a construction standpoint.
And in the meantime, if you want to look at a foundation up close and personal, we got 3 of them out there.
Knock your lights out. Yep.
You can take a peek at. All right. Mariano is saying you finished the year 2021 by diving with Tilson on December 30th. We're building in Terrell, Texas. Awesome.
Grateful, Mariano.
Exciting.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for trusting us.
All right. We've got Herman Haas here with 3HS Construction. We do some of your underground utilities from San Antonio up to Hunt, Texas. Thank you for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Hey, well, thank you, man. We could not get this stuff done without you guys out there. That's what I kind of call the last mile between home being done and like actually being done. Getting it built, having the slab poured, frame up, completely done, stone, beautiful, all great. If you can't turn on the faucet and have running water, or flush the commode and have stuff go away, or have electrical, whatever,
lights.
It doesn't really matter. So that last mile is really, really important. So appreciate you, Mr. Haas.
Thank you. Let's see. James, hello. Finished rough design in San Jacinto and pre-approval for a Hunt County build. Awesome.
Nice.
All right. Kenneth has a question. What is the process when building the foundation on Eagle Ford soil that needs treatment? There's a lot of clay that creates unstable ground. What needs to be done to stabilize the foundation?
Great question, Kenneth. So what we do is we actually levitate the house. It floats above, about 3 feet above. I'm just kidding. So what we do,
it's like the Jetsons.
Obviously the first and foremost is our geotechnical investigation. So the first thing we do after the home is completely staked. In other words, we have exactly the location of where you're going to be putting the home. Inside the footprint of that home, we come out and do some geotechnical investigation. And in the event that it's not rock, which the Eagle Ford shale is not, we come out and we'll drill soil samples. The engineer's going to take that soil sample back to their lab in Austin, Texas, and they're going to perform various tests on it. They're gonna bake it in an oven. They're gonna see basically how does it perform with excess moisture? How does it perform with lack of moisture? In other words, what's going to happen when it rains a whole lot? What's going to happen when we have a drought every 8 or 9 years? They actually, you could remember when you were a little kid and you would roll out dirt like a worm.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the tests they do.
Make
they do
little
that.
mud pies.
Yeah, we pay people to roll out dirt into worms.
That job.
That's a real thing. And to measure at what point it falls apart, we're looking for its plasticity index. That's the formal term. We're looking at how much does it move. We're looking at its potential vertical rise, PVR, in other words, and that's exactly what it says it is. How much potentially could it heave? How much could it deflect? So it could either one. So we do that on all the homes that we build that are not on rock. If it's on rock, it's a different story. Not a lot of deflection, not a lot of heaving. It rocks. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. Then the engineer is going to make recommendations. Now, the recommendations can vary based on the shape of the home, based on the exact soil molecular makeup of what's, because you're talking about the Eagleford Shale, which is really it's an oil depository. Okay. We have oil in Texas. That's a thing. So, you got the Barnett Shale up in kind of northwest outside of Fort Worth. You got the Eagleford Shale, which is kind of south of San Antonio. And that's where Kenneth's talking about here. And it is a different type of soil. And we won't be going quite that far down to where there's oil, but we will be going down far enough where it'll be affecting the performance of your home. And so sometimes they'll recommend chemical injections. Like that's a weird one to think, but we basically predetermine what the moisture content is going to be, and we go ahead and make the soil soak. We've done that actually all over the state. Sometimes they just want us to do a little bit deeper beams, a little bit wider beams. So instead of maybe 12-inch by 30-inch beams, they want 12-inch by 36 or by 42-inch tall beams, just a little bit added stability. Sometimes they'll want what's known as a hatch beam, which will be kind of one section of the house, maybe across the back of the home. They want it to be, maybe 12 inches further embedment. Sometimes they'll want to do hard points where we dig deeper down about every 10 or 12 feet and put big kind of almost usually 12-inch or up to 24-inch footers. That down into. So there's a lot of different things they're going to recommend, Kenneth. It's going to be specific to your exact home design, exactly where it's being built on your piece of property. So that's what we do. Good news, we've built all over the Eagleford Shale, as well as the Barnett Shale. So the engineers have done, close to 1 million different foundation designs across Texas, and they operate only in Texas. So they're intimately familiar with the soil types, how they react to moisture, lack of moisture, and we trust them very, very much with what they're designing. So great question.
Yeah, great question. All right, we've got Sandra. I'm glad you're hosting this. I'm hoping to build in Quinlan, Texas soon. I'm thinking of building a shop apartment first, then build forever home later. How does financing work if we do this?
Okay, I think you can tell them, Dawn. How does financing work?
So the way that financing works with Tilson is what we would be looking for is for you to have 10% equity in the final value of your home. So that would be the house plus the value of the house plus the value of the land that it's sitting on. As long as you have that, you're good to go for us to build. And we do what we call the Easy Buy program, which has no construction loan requirement. So you're just going to put down your deposit with us, and then we will start building your home. And there's no payments until you get to close on your home and are about to move in. So the only other thing that we'd want you to do is make sure that you can qualify with a regular mortgage company. So we would want a letter from the mortgage company saying, yes, they're qualified to build this home and we're going to finance it at the end. So that's kind of the very quick version of how financing works with us. But we do have like an entire other video on our financing process if you want to take a look at that.
Perfect.
That's a short answer. All right. Creatia is confirming that, yes, she is Theo's better half. So
beautiful. Well, thanks for joining us. It's lovely to have you.
Good to see you. Let's see. Martina is saying we have a dirt pad as of last week. I'm so excited building in Avant. Awesome. And then we have Jenna asking, can you explain more about foundation pricing?
I can, Jen. So depending on where you're building, based on the counties, we have various standards because we build, about 114 counties across the state. And so what we've done is based on historical data of what our engineers have called for, we've built kind of in Montgomery County, Texas, we build, we allow for 18 inches of out of level. It includes a 14 and a half inch tall starting height, 12 inch by 30 inch interior and exterior beams. Like that's what 85% of the foundations in Montgomery County call for. So that's what we do.
Mhm.
The decision was we don't want to price it for the most extreme case because only about 10 to 15% of our customers need that most extreme case. So it wouldn't really be fair to do that for everybody. So hey, what's going to hit it for 85% of the folks that we build on? Let's make that the standard. And then
Mhm.
based on what the engineer recommends, we'll go from there. So if the engineer comes back based on the geotechnical investigation and recommends something, let's say beyond what's included in our the base pricing of what's included for foundations, then depending on where it is and what all's involved, we have the pricing in house that we've already pre-negotiated with our concrete vendors to be able to say, okay, for every inch, more of beam width or depth, it's X amount of dollars. For every additional inch or 2 inches of out of level, it's Y amount of dollars.
Mhm.
Or in some cases, and depending on other places in the state, we'll actually send it out for competitive bids. So we'll take the foundation design and we'll send it to 2 or 3 different of our foundation contractors and request that they bid it. That's pretty common in the hill country, and it's also pretty common in the Gulf Coast areas when we get much over 35, 40 inches of out of level. We'll typically send those out for bids.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And they come back to us, and all we charge you, Jenna, is for the net difference. So we have what was included, and then we'll say what they called for. You're only getting charged for this part, the
Okay.
difference here, and what was included and what the engineer called for. If they call for just the normal, it doesn't cost anything additional. If you're within our out of level allowance that's included in that particular county, and it ranges across the state from 6 inches
Mhm.
up to 30 inches, depending on where, because it's a big state and we have a lot of variables.
Yeah.
You're building down in Rockport or someplace like that. You probably don't need a 30-inch out of level allowance. It's pretty flat. You're on the coast. So for those areas, we include 6. Whereas you get further over into, Llano County and Fredericksburg, up Gillespie
Mhm.
County, we're going to include a little more out of level in those because the odds are you're going to have a little more slope on the footprint of your home. So that's how
Okay.
that works.
That makes sense. All right. We got Amy asking, how long is the current building time frame?
How long is it, Dawn?
So right now you're looking at somewhere between 12 and 16 months total from when you begin your process. And when you sign your agreement with us until you are moving in. We're just seeing a lot of delays both at the local government level and trying to get things approved, and then supply chain issues and getting contractors out there. So we're just building a little bit of extra time into the time frame that we're telling everybody to kind of account for that. So you're going to have 4 to 5 months of like upfront. That's when we finalize your plans. We get all your permitting approvals. We get, everything kind of squared away and you're ready to build, get your home designed, ready to go. And then you'd actually have construction. And we are finding with a lot of our homes, we're having a little bit of a pause in between those two phases. We used to be able to release construction and pour pretty quickly, but sometimes we're seeing a 2, sometimes 3 months delay in between. Once they actually pour that foundation, we can get your home done in 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Just dependent upon what's going on. So that's kind of what the time frames, and that's true with every builder right now. Just that's kind of the delays that everyone is seeing.
But it's definitely more so the case where you are there, Amy, in the Driftwood area.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely, I mean, that's that whole area, Driftwood, Dripping Springs, West Austin. As you go to the south of that, all of Hayes County into Comal County, that's the hottest area in the country,
Yes.
not just
Yeah.
in Texas, in the country. It is where there is the least amount of contractors available, is where the highest demand for not just contractors, but materials are. That whole corridor between Austin and San Antonio and to the west is just, it's as you probably know, as an agent, it's on fire, and that
Absolutely.
has its pluses, but it also has its challenges. And time frame is the biggest challenge in that area right now.
Yep.
Availability.
Mm-hmm.
Great
All
question.
right. We got Kimberly. Can't wait. In exactly 1 year, January 2023, we will be starting the process. Awesome. I'm glad you're doing your research now.
Yes.
All right. We got Polly. Hello from Grapetown. We were just rocking along with the process, waiting for foundation, pricing, etc. Cleared the trees on Sunday, so we are ready soon. Awesome.
Nice.
It's great.
Good job, Polly. Thanks for sharing.
All
I hope you
right.
were injury free in your tree clearing.
Yeah, I hope you beat the trees. Sandra is saying good. She's going to look for the financing video on the website. Kelsey, if you're watching too, can you go ahead and just drop her the link to it? That would make it a lot easier. We've got Luann. Good afternoon. Live in Williamson County, and finding an affordable available property is crazy. Do we have property for sale or a realtor we recommend? It is crazy. Things are definitely tightening up. What we have found is there's a website called landsoftexas.com. That's really kind of the best resource we've found for people who are looking for land, because it doesn't have as much of the noise as like a Zillow would have with existing homes and things like that. So that's really a good resource. And then our Georgetown office might have some realtor recommendations for you if you want to reach out to them. But I know that it's definitely tough to find property in that area. As we were just talking, it's the most popular area in the country right now. So everybody's kind of snapping it up. All right. And we've got James, who is asking, we want to build on the back part of our property. The road has washed out. Do we need to have this fixed before we can sign, given that it will be the construction drive eventually?
So you're definitely don't want to, excuse me, you definitely want to start getting bids to get that done. I'm not going to say that has to be done before you can sign. Plan's going to take a little while to get done, but and we might be able to obviously even walk back there with you with our site evaluator, our stakeout superintendent, land prep specialist. We may be able to get back there, but yes, you don't have to wait for that to sign, but you will have to have that buttoned up. And again, you might be in an area we can help you recommend a contractor to get that done. Because we want to not just get it rebuilt so it works for construction, but we want to rebuild it in such a manner that it doesn't wash out again.
Right.
That would be optimal. And so it's there's a saying that I kind of adopted, not just last year, but I've done it in the past, but I heard it used quite a bit last year, a phrase as buy once, cry once.
Yes. Yeah.
I know the folks that do convert did a big deal about it. And that's, whether you're looking at video camera equipment, like for what we're doing, or a car or tractor or whatever, it's going to cost what it costs to make it perform optimally. Mm-hmm. You can pay that cost incrementally over time by fixing it over and over and over again, or right. You can pay it one time, get it done right, get the whatever you need, 4 foot, 8 foot culvert, whatever needs to be put in there with stabilized sand and crushed material and compacted properly, and the drainage scraped and done properly where it doesn't blow out. There's something to that saying. I'm not saying just spend money willy-nilly, but there is something to the buy once, cry once.
Spend enough money to get it done right.
Yeah. Because what you really don't want to have happen is, halfway through construction, the thing blow out again, and then that's slowing things down or stopping things. That would be bad. So, but no, it doesn't have to be done before you can sign, but it will be something, because we have plenty of customers that don't know even exactly where they want the house to be. So the construction drive is done during that upfront process when you're doing your color selections, you're right. Getting the loan set up and getting the permitting done and the septic design done and signing off the plans. So, I mean, there's some time there that can be happening simultaneously. But definitely
we just need it done before we can take soil samples.
Correct.
That's going to be the first really, really big truck that's coming on your property that's going to need that construction drive.
Yeah.
All right.
Great question. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you. We get a question from Jen and Ray on foundation cost. Their foundation was an additional $18,000. Is that typical, or is that high, or how does that kind of?
That is a great question. My answer is it really kind of depends. I don't know if you would like to hear that, but I've seen way higher than that. Mm-hmm. I've also seen zero. So, but 18,000, without knowing, Jen and Ray, the exact size of the home or what the engineer calls for or what the out of level is, that's really not that crazy, that out of control. We did the highest I've ever seen. We did last year. It was over $200,000 on a foundation upgrade.
Yeah, now, that was a lot.
It was a massive house. It was like 13 feet out of level. It was on
It
a
was on a
lake.
lake. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a big, but that's what it was. It was
Hmm.
$200,000. That's never happened in my career. But I've seen 18, 20 to 30,000 fairly frequently.
Hmm.
Again, depending on, I've seen dirt pads that cost twice that. Sometimes we have to do a dirt pad in conjunction with a foundation upgrade, and that's $30,000 to $40,000. So it definitely can happen, but that's 18,000. I mean, I'm not minimizing it. Okay,
Hmm.
Mr. Miss Torres, at all. That's a number. 18,000 is a
Yeah.
lot of
It's
money.
not a good surprise number if you weren't expecting it, but
Right, but it
yeah.
is, if that's what it costs to get it done correctly, then that's what it costs to get it done correctly. And that number is not. I'm not unused to seeing that number.
Hmm. Okay. All right. We've got Corey asking if pricing will go down as building materials do. So if building materials go down, and that is a really big if,
Yeah,
because that's not the direction that we're seeing pricing going at all, as far as building materials go. But yes, we do keep our pricing in line with what's going on with the market. So it is a reflection of what the current cost of materials as well as labor, which right now it had been for a while, was more labor going up, but we're starting to see the building materials go up too, because we're seeing shortages and increasing prices on the weirdest of things. Like Sherwin-Williams is no longer making certain paint bases. So you have to go to the higher one, and even the higher one costs more than it did before. So it's even higher one, for lack of a better word. And we're just seeing weird kind of shortages. MDF was the latest one that I saw that was kind of strange.
flex duct.
Um, yeah, flex duct, just things that you wouldn't think about. So yeah, huge if building material prices go down, but that just, full disclosure, we're not seeing building prices go down, because even lumber that, went down a little bit is back
No,
up.
it's up exactly where it was in the
Yeah.
summer and spring and summer of last year, which was its record high.
Yeah.
Corey, I will not sugarcoat it. Prices are not going down anytime in the next 2 years. It's not happening. There's nothing out there that we're seeing, and
Mhm.
we consume all the information we possibly can from a company perspective, from our vendors, from our suppliers, big suppliers. Um, Nobody is seeing prices coming down. The inflation is real. It's not transitory. I
Mhm.
don't know that word was short lived. It lasted about a month at the federal government level. Oh, it's just transitory inflation. It'll go away. No, it's not, and no,
No.
it isn't.
Mm-mm.
Um, so when you print trillions of dollars in money, there's only it doesn't take a PhD in economics to figure out that drives prices up. Every dollar that is printed makes the dollar less valuable, which means
Mhm.
things cost what they cost. You're seeing record demand. You're seeing record low unemployment, which means employers are having to pay more and more and more and more money to get things done, to get people to show up.
Mhm.
When you have to pay more money, right? You have to raise prices to make things to offset that cost. Health insurance costs more than it ever did. Car insurance
Yes.
costs more than it ever did. Um, and lumber, yeah, I mean, lumber, steel, flex duct, MDF, all these things that Don just mentioned. These are things that we have never seen. Shortages, never mind the pricing that we've seen for, but the fact that it doesn't matter what price you want to pay, you can't get it. Uh,
Mhm.
there's not a number out there. So a shipping container that used to cost, like, just an empty shipping container, you can pick them up for 15, 1,800, 1,900 bucks, $5,000 for an empty shipping container,
Wow.
because you can't get them. So just know that if you're waiting on pricing to go down, I don't.
You're gonna be waiting. Yeah.
You'll be waiting, and actually, if and when that happens, which it won't be materials, it'll be a real estate crash. That's probably not something that most people want to wish for, because a lot of people, not everyone, but some people have a home they need to sell or want to
Mhm.
sell to be able to build this other home. Okay, well, real estate crashes are no respecter of persons. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's everybody. We all ride this thing down, and last time it happened, it was 30-40% in some places.
Yeah.
So you can't have kind of one without the other. I hope that makes sense.
Well,
The
and
interesting,
even with interest rates. That's where I was going to go. Even without a real estate crash, if prices do go down, it's going to be about the same time that interest rates are going to start going up. So you're not saving anything by having less.
Right. And I'll also share with you that the federal government is so certain that this inflation is here to stay, that they went ahead and they have raised the conforming loan limit. So where it was, last year, so go way back to, 6 years ago, way back, it was $417,000. So anything over $417,000 was a jumbo loan. It was not a conforming loan. It was over. It was jumbo. Well, then they raised it up to $548,250. Okay, well, that's a big jump. $130,000 jump. Well, that lasted for like a year or two, and just this year, starting like 3 days ago, January 1, 2022, the new conforming loan limit, $647,200. So what does that mean? That means that the federal government, who is FHFA, they set these conforming loan limits for 1 to 4 family, which is what this is. Those are called single family units. 1 to 4 family is, so for what we traditionally build, what you folks are looking to build, a new home on your land, we're looking at a 1 unit. Anything over $647,200 is now considered a jumbo loan. Anything less than that is not jumbo anymore. That is a huge statement by the federal government in saying these prices are not going anywhere. The pricing is here to stay. The higher prices are here. They would not have raised this loan limit if they felt like these prices were going to go down. The good news coupled with that is we did see a slide in the interest rate. Now, everyone agrees, and eventually, Dawn, somebody's going to be right.
Eventually, it has to go back up, right?
Interest rates are going to go up. And this is from Fox Business. Savings window still open for home buyers, but rate increases may be on the horizon. In other words, please click back later and read our ads. But what they're saying, rates did kind of slide down for the first week of the year, which is interesting because demand is still up. Which usually when demand is really, really going up, you'll see that rates will kind of tick up a little bit because people will tolerate a higher rate because they have the demand. And we didn't see that in the first week, which is very interesting. So the rates are, this is crazy. 3.19% on a 30-year fixed mortgage, right? That's what makes this $647,000 even sound affordable. To me, it sounds crazy, but I get it. There's no, our average contract price has gone up significantly in the last year, not just with people wanting more stuff in their homes, but just the prices. Prices and things are up between 24 and 40%, like actual home prices, to get stuff done, to get people to show up to work, to get contractors to show up, to get their guys paid, to buy the lumber, to buy the steel, to buy the brick, to buy the windows, to insulation, cabinets, everything is going up. This is the conventional loan limit moving up is probably the biggest validation of the economists at the federal government level being like, yep, we get it. This is not going down. This is here to stay. So interesting stuff.
Even increased FHA quite a bit, which is usually, kind of stays the same.
Yeah, very much stays the same. Pretty blasé. Not a lot changes. So, Corey, I know you got way more than you bargained for in that answer, but we actually had those tabs queued up. We want to talk about the conforming loan limit. It's good news. Okay. I believe it's good news because jumbo loan rates are they're always higher than a conventional.
Yeah. Well, we had Matt come and talk about that they have to you get a separate loan and it's, a couple points higher. And, so anytime that goes away, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah. So, now you can get a loan for up to $647,000 at 3.19%. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's the closest thing to free money we're going to see.
Yeah, but it does tell you that even the federal government understands, hey, this price thing is not. They know that when you print money, it causes inflation. Like there's no way to offset that other than take money out of circulation.
Yep.
which they're not doing that. They're doing the opposite of that.
Yeah. All right. We've got a question from Lila. Are there any potential issues we could run into if we're looking to build a second home on a 7-acre plot that already has a home built on it?
Lila, there are dozens of big, scary, gnarly issues. The good news is we've probably dealt with all of them, so
Yeah.
we can help you with that. No, the reality is it depends very much on where you are building. Some counties will require it to be replatted if you want to put two on there. Not all, in fact, not even most. Most will not require anything. It's not going to be a big deal. If you are getting a loan for it, like we just talked about these conforming loans, there are, in most cases, they're not going to allow two single family residences on one piece of collateral property. Sounds like a big hairy deal. It's really not. In most cases, you can just cut an imaginary line, do a survey out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say, okay, well, this 5 acres has this house going on it, and this house over here that's already there, it's sitting on this imaginary 2-acre tract. And voila, now it's a 5 and a 2, not a 7.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to put a fence. You don't have to do anything like that. It's two different collateral properties. So that's the first thing. The first thing to check into would be if the county, or if you're in a city, you're almost certainly going to have a replat. If you're on acreage, you're probably not in a city, but you still could be. So we can check that out. An easy way to check that out is go to your county appraisal district's website, put in your address or the legal description of the property, and look at all the different taxing entities. If it says city of whatever,
You're in a city.
you're in a city. Yeah. If it doesn't have any city stuff listed, just, XYZ independent school district and this emergency service district and this county, then you're just in the county and you're probably not going to do anything. We'll know when we go to pull the permit or go to apply. They'll tell us like, oh, hey, you got to cut a line and go through that. But in either case, it's no big deal. That's the first one. And the second one will be if you're doing cash, it's a non-issue. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. But if you're doing a loan, the lender is going to require that most likely that the property be surveyed out. In other words, that it's its own physical entity. The reason is that they're looking at it from an investor standpoint. Okay,
Right.
they don't have the same emotional, Christmassy grandkid pushing on swing thoughts that we do. They have to protect their investment. They have to say, okay, if we wound up with this, if this person defaulted and we ended up with this home, could we sell it? Well, that's real tough to do when you got another house sitting over here. Maybe it has renters in it. Maybe it has in-laws in it. Maybe, that they're not going to touch that. So they're going to want an imaginary line cut, almost kind of like, think of it's perforated, where if they had to take that house back, they could, okay, this 5 acres is this 2 acres is that. And it could be 3.5, 4 and 3, 6 and 1. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be up to you and the lender, whatever y'all can agree to from an appraisal standpoint of what it's going to need to be. They typically are going to want, we have seen them do shared wells. If you're going to be on a water well, you can share a well, the two dwellings. You typically can't share a septic system. They're going to want 2 separate septic systems.
Okay.
If that's the case, but because they can do an agreement for a shared well, you can't really do an agreement for a shared septic system.
What about driveways? Is it going to need its own access?
It will need its own. Yeah, it'll need its own access. Yeah, they're going to require to have its own access. You could cut an easement if you're like, well, I want to come off of this one and turn over here. You can make like a 30-foot wide easement and deed yourself access to this other piece of property. But it's a great question, Dawn. Yeah, you can't have a landlocked piece of property. You can't have, let's say you're building this one behind the other one, and you have to cross this property to get to the new home you're building. A lender's going to do King's X on that. They're going to say, no. We want to have our own access back there so that, again, if something happened, they could foreclose on that home and sell it to someone without having to work out title issues. Okay. Great question.
Makes sense. Awesome.
Thanks for watching, Lila.
All right. We've got Robert sharing that he's ready to start foundation pour for his Whitney and Atascosa County. JC is great to work with. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. We agree.
Robert Fraud.
Nice. Jesse is asking, once appraisal comes back and loan is approved, how soon can we pour the foundation? Because appraisal was done yesterday. Sorry.
All right, Jesse. So, we need the appraisal and loan approval obviously done. What's more important than that is the soil test, signed set of plans to have the engineer foundation design ordered, and we get the engineer foundation design back. All selections are done. So the loan approval is one of the many components that goes into this upfront start process that we have to have. But it's not really the trigger that kicks off when the foundation is poured. The real trigger that kicks off when the foundation poured is going to be any kind of building or septic permit, the final building septic permit that we need from whatever entity is governing. We need the foundation design back. In order to get the foundation design, we have to have a full set of plans signed by the customer, the geotechnical investigation completed, which means you have to have the stakeout done. So if you've got your stakeout done, you've signed off on a full set of plans, and we've received that engineered foundation design back, and all we're waiting on is loan approval, then that will be the last trigger. That's pretty rare that that's the case, but it is possible. Particularly in rural areas, appraisals are kind of taking a long time. So glad it got done.
Yeah, really exciting that it's done and approved and good to go.
Yeah,
But
but your sales consultant give you a much better idea of what we're actually waiting on in the process.
Yeah, give Lauren a call, and she can kind of tell you what we're still waiting on and when will be good to go. All right, we have Monica asking, has the website home prices been updated with the most current pricing changes? Yes, that was done. That was done yesterday. So yeah, we have completed that, which is obviously something that someone else saw, because they're asking why the Canyon price went up as much as it did in their area. So it kind of comes back to what we were talking about before. Our last price increase was actually in July, and we just kind of held steady until then. And we got to the point where we couldn't hold steady anymore because of all of the increases in labor and materials. And it's just, that's what it's going to cost to build. And we wouldn't be responsible to our customers or to our employees if we weren't pricing our houses where we needed them to be. You know, we are the ones who support the home after it's built. So your warranty is only as good as we are financially stable. So we have to make sure that we've priced everything right. And it's unfortunate that it was that much at once, but that's what it cost. It cost what it cost.
Yeah, and it didn't go up 30,000 everywhere, by the way. So
yeah,
that must be, I don't know what county that is, but it did not go up that much everywhere. But yeah, there have been occasions in the last 2 years that we have handed a contract to one of our contractors, framer, painter, mostly framer and foundation contractors, and they've slid it right back across the desk and said, "I can't do it for that anymore. Like I'm better off not building it than trying to build it for that price. Can't do it." So if it can't be done, it can't be done. You know, and like Dawn said, it costs what it costs. Unfortunately, right now, but you want the right people to build it the right way. And you want whatever business that you're working with, I don't care if you're buying cars or furniture or houses or whatever, you want them to be in business long enough to service that which they sell you. It doesn't do anybody any good to build a home and not make any money. You know, that's how, full disclosure, that's how we fund expansion. Even, you know, to open a new office in WACO, to open a new office anywhere, to rebuild a new model somewhere, you know, a builder can't do that if they're operating on a break-even or worse basis. That is not smart. We certainly wouldn't have the ability to service the homes that we have built. So call that customer care line, and you want someone to answer that phone.
You do, yes.
Whoever answers that phone, if they're telling you they're going to send somebody out to your house next Thursday, you want to be sure that someone shows up to your house next Thursday to fix it. That can't happen without keeping your pricing in line.
Right.
We've been doing this for 90 years. We've watched many, many builders that, we can do it for less, or we can do it for whatever Tilson tells you. We can do it for $15,000 less than they can. And most of them don't stay in business because there's not that much margin in big ticket items like houses.
Yeah.
That's where volume comes in. You want to go to a high margin business, go sell furniture. There's a lot of money in furniture. That's why they can constantly do 30% off sales, closeout sales for years and years and years, and never go out of business somehow.
Yeah, it tells you that they we're pricing pretty high to start with. The other thing, I know we haven't talked about it in a while, is making sure that you understand the pricing structure of builders. We're not dealing with things that you might see with some other custom builders of, allowances, and, that price that you're seeing for the Canyon is what the Canyon is going to cost you. Like we're holding to that. We have a 180-day price protection pledge that if you do everything that needs to be done to get your home released to construction in that time period, we're not going to change that price unless something with the scope changes, like the foundation that we were talking about before. Some of the prices that you might be seeing, we don't want to, we set up our prices so we don't have to go to our customers and be like, yeah, that house that we talked about, it's $15,000 more now that we're starting. That's not something that's going to happen. So we do make sure that our prices are in line with where they need to be, that we can actually build your home for that price when it comes time to build your home. All right. Jesse also wanted to say hi, by the way, and Happy New Year. Thank you, Jesse.
Happy New Year, Jesse.
We knew you had questions, and we don't mind you jumping right in. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Joanne is asking, do the rules about replat apply to a casita if we bought a property with a home already on it and wanted to add an in-laws quarter?
It's totally up to the county, Joanne. So there are some counties that'll say, yes, we want it replatted, and some they'll you say replat and they don't even know what you're talking about. So it really is county driven. It's again, if unincorporated areas, it's really pretty rare that they want it done. Again, if you're getting a loan for the other dwelling, that's where most lenders are going to want it to be an imaginary separate piece of property. They don't want it. You can't have two single family homes on a one piece of collateral property. And whether the single family home is 800 square feet or 8,000 square feet, they don't care. It's a single family home.
Right.
So it's not necessarily even the size of it that matters. It's what is it and what's its intended use.
Okay. All right. Maria is asking, when you guys build a 2-story, do you use I-joist or trusses for the floor?
Typically use I-joist. Great question. Very, very in-depth question.
She knows her stuff.
Yeah, Boise Cascade I-joist is what we're typically using right now. We've dabbled with trusses in the past, open web trusses. I really, really like the I-joists a lot. They're very solid. We actually use them quite a bit for even garages. If we're not doing a second story, we'll do it for the ceiling of the garage just because they such a great finish. You don't have any crowning or bowing or anything like you do with a 2x12 these days. But yeah, traditionally we're using I-joists.
Okay, great. All right, Jesse's got another question. So say we get foundation poured in March, how long is the build from that point? Rough estimate. They're eager beavers.
So, everybody, this is a case in point. This is what's called the assumptive close. I've done sales for a very long time. And Jesse's like, okay, so let's say we close in, hypothetically, let's say we pour the concrete in March. She's already talked to herself into we're pouring concrete in March. I hope we do.
I hope so too.
So yeah, our average construction time once the slab is placed, I think a while ago, Don, you were saying it's like 8 months. I think it's about what it is, 8, 9 months. The faster, the better. Again, folks, think about how our little business model works. Unless you're paying cash, which is not the majority of our customers, right? That's the small minority. If you're doing a loan, like most of our customers are, we aren't getting paid anything except for your deposit, your $3,000 deposit, until the house is finished. So it behooves us from a purely business financial standpoint to get out there and get started. So anyway, it's the faster the better. If we can do it,
Jessica says she's a planner.
Yeah, Dawn can relate. I cannot. I don't plan. I plan on dealing with whatever comes in front of me. That's what I plan on doing. That's my plan. I like making a plan A and a plan B because plan A, I have to make plan A so I can go ahead and get to plan B because plan B is probably what's going to end up happening anyway. So that's how Eric plans. Dawn knows this, which is why I drive her crazy. A little bit. 8 months, 9 months, right in there. Depends on the size.
She's in Gillespie, so probably more to the
probably longer. Yep, probably longer. There are lots of eager beavers in Gillespie County. You have lots of friends.
Yes. All right. Jen and Ray are asking, our foundation was poured November 17th. We've been waiting ever since for framing to start. We've learned to be patient. Finally, the wood was delivered, getting closer, but COVID was a factor too, apparently. Yes.
Well, I hate to hear that, Ms. Torres. That's believe me, again, like I just said, it doesn't do us any good to wait. So thank you for bearing with us and appreciate your patience, your professionalism, and we'll get out there and get that thing rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the last question I see, folks. So start typing if you have anything else.
You have your warning. You have your 2 to 3 5-minute warning before we're doing our sign off and you ask another question. But yeah, so we are super excited about 2022. A lot of things. We have our 90th anniversary We'll be doing some celebrations throughout the year about that. Dawn, you've got some other videos you've got working in the hopper. What is the sneak peek of some of these folks?
Yeah, we have some customer care videos. So our great customer care team came together and filmed some videos for us on, how to do proper maintenance on your home, how to change out the batteries in your smoke detector, how to, change out change the screens in the windows, all that kind of good stuff that everybody's kind of curious about. So really excited for those to launch.
I'm also excited. You want to know what the best part of those videos are?
You're not in them?
I'm not in them.
You didn't have to do anything.
You guys are going to get to see some variety, some of the actual great team members we have at Tilson Homes. You're going to get to see them a lot more. So we've shown people that you can do this and not get killed, and people don't just point and laugh at you. And if they do, they can't talk anyway. It's just comments. So so we're super excited that more of the Tilson family are going to be getting in these videos. I'm excited anyway. I don't know if everybody else is, but I'm stoked.
Yes. Yeah, we're super excited. We've got some more plans coming out, some more home tours for you. We've got lots of great stuff planned. So we're super excited for 2022.
Cool.
All right. We got a question. Shannon and Daniel are asking, what if the house isn't completed in 180 days? The 180 days that I was referring to was being released to construction. So it's the upfront stuff. There's a set of, responsibilities that are ours and responsibilities that are yours. And it's getting through all of that is the 180 days that I was talking about. Once we go to construction and you're released, your price is absolutely 100% locked. It's not going to change. No matter what happens, unless you sweet talk your builder and they do something they're not supposed to and change something on site, which we don't like to happen. But your price is going to be exactly the same. Once we start construction, we're good.
But for clarification, she was talking about the upfront part, and we do not guarantee construction to be done in any amount of time, actually.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Other than as soon as we possibly can, so we can get paid.
Yeah, but right, not so fast that it's not done properly.
It will be done right.
Yeah. Kenneth is saying, thanks for responding to my question. I have complete confidence in your engineers and their expertise and Tilson's home quality. Thanks. Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that, man.
It's great. Linda is asking, I'm considering putting a safe in the garage. Does the foundation cabling extend to that area?
It does.
It does.
But you're not going to need to go down that deep for concrete anchors. You just need to get about an inch of bite into that concrete, and it's not going anywhere. Excuse me. My other guess would be, so I have a safe in my garage because it's Texas. We got big gun safes because we got to protect our stuff. Like, I don't put my children behind these kinds of locks and complicate, but guns, yes, absolutely. So now, mostly because my kids can fight and they know how to use the guns, so they don't need it. But it weighs probably 900 pounds, empty. So I mean, they offered to anchor it to my slab when they brought it out there. If someone's bad enough to pick up a 900-pound safe, concrete anchors ain't going to stop them. So, you're welcome to attach it, Linda. I don't think it's necessary. If you want to do it from a safety perspective, I can understand that. But again, you get a big enough safe out there, moving around, it's not a big deal. And again, if you need to anchor them, just, go an inch and a half in. And you're going to be okay. But yes, the cables do go into the garage. They are throughout the entire foundation. So porches, garages, living area, anywhere. The only place we don't use the cables is if we're doing flat work. So driveways, sidewalks, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Great question.
All right. Peter is asking, who would I talk to regarding adding a pool to my build, and what percentage of the entire cost can I qualify for?
Well, Peter, right now, unless you've already are under construction with a pool allowance in, we are no longer doing allowances for pools during construction. So we don't do the build of the pool anyway. It was something in the past we would let customers add to their loan if they could qualify for it, like you've asked. But in current times, pool builders, barn builders, guess what? They're backed up just like everybody else is.
Right.
And what we have found that's happening, and it is actually happening now, we have houses that are finished. We have finished the construction of the home. We cannot close on the home because the pool builder or the barn builder or the metal building builder can't get their stuff together. They can't get their trays to show up. They can't get their materials out there to finish the pool. But because the pool is in the loan amount, we can't close till the pool's done. So unfortunately, we've had to put a temporary hiatus on that. I hope it's temporary, a hiatus on that, because we cannot have these houses. We can't have people out there ready to move into their homes, us ready to get funded, and we can't allow either of those things to happen because the pool's not done. So we've put a temporary hiatus on that right now, Mr. Kerr, and Kerr move into their homes that were finished, and they can't move in because we're not funded. So we've stopped that.
Okay. All right. Candace is asking if we've ever thought about building a sales center near Jackson, Victoria County.
We actually have.
We
Candace.
have.
We have. There's a mole in here.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
okay.
Stay tuned.
All right. Sarah is saying these are very helpful. Thank you. We signed Friday and are super excited. Well,
awesome.
Welcome. Thank
you, Sarah.
We're excited too. All right. And that is it, Eric. I'm going to officially call. We're done.
We're done. All right. So, well, thank you all for joining us. We got a long way to go now in 2022. I'm excited. Don's excited. We're grateful for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being our customers. Thank you for asking us these questions. We hope they're helpful. We have tons of information. You can find us in lots of places. We have a website that's open 24/7. There's a lot of content on there, and that is an understatement of the century. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page, obviously. We have a Vimeo channel. If you'd like to watch things ad-free, you don't want to pay that $5 for, skip YouTube, the trial.
Whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You don't have to do that. Go to Vimeo, check out all the stuff. We have an Instagram page. Is there still Instagram? Is that a thing still?
Still a thing, yeah.
All right. So people still Instagram. That's a thing. Anyway, we are on LinkedIn. There are jobs posted. We're always looking for good help, good people. So Happy New Year to everyone. We are grateful that you watched, and we really hope to soon make you part of the Tilson family. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.